okay to just zoom the camera in a little bit on that? So this book right here is, how's it pronounced? The Dompas.
Reference book.
So that means stupid pass. Wow.
The Dompas in Afrikaans dom.
Dome. Another glorious day to go exploring Cape Town. So today, well, good morning by the way, and today I'm off to see Robben Island. So that is where Nelson Mandela was held captive. That's where he was in prison for the majority of his sentence. So that's what I'm going to go see today, heading to the harbour to get a boat to that island. And then before we get here, like, this is normally my usual walk to the harbour where I get food, and I pass this house every day. And I just love the South African, or at least Cape Town, architecture. Reminds me of like Forrest Gump or something, but there's loads of them style of houses dotted around Cape Town, and I absolutely love it. Anyway, yeah, let's get ourselves onto the boat, off to Robben Island and see another place in Cape Town. Well, that was a lovely little boat ride going from Cape Town up to Robben Island. Yeah, I'm just a massive fan of the nature myself. Looking at the landscape, seeing all the mountains and getting a really good perspective of it. So now, yeah, just jumped off the boat, gonna head up this way, catch the bus, because I believe the buses are gonna take us to the prison, and then, yeah, do the rest of the tour. So we've just stopped for a little break, and this is my wonderful tour guide who's been talking us through all the amazing facts. So I couldn't film much on the bus because I'm sat way at the back and the camera's not picking it up. So if you could just take the lead here and tell us some of the facts that they've missed out, that would be amazing.
Hi there, my name is Simniki. I'm definitely a tour guide on Robben Island. Basically, we tell the history of South Africa, what has happened in South Africa. Of course, I'm a newborner, but then of course the history is carrying on and it needs to be told. So I happen to be the one new generation that is telling the history. We talked about Mr. Sobukwe, who was the leader of the Pan-Africanist Congress. He fought during the time of the Dompas. There is a book that I'll definitely would like to show you, which of course it was during that time of the Dompas, which it was in 1960 on the 21st of March, when they did a shovel, where they organized themselves as black people, organized themselves to not want to carry that Dompas, which of course then Mr. Sobukwe led that in South Africa, and therefore everyone took part on it, and therefore they went to the stations and they were arrested because they did not carry the Dompas. So therefore, from then, of course, the world knew what was happening in South Africa. And then in 1979, that's when they said, come to an end, no one must carry the Dompas. A Dompas is a book that is similar to an ID book or to a passport. Basically, it gives all the information of the person, where they are coming from, when it was made and when it will expire, where they are allowed to go and where they are not allowed to go. So that is definitely the book. I thank you.
Tell me again, we're from Manchester.
From Manchester, yeah.
Manchester, how you feel? United?
United, unfortunately, United.
Oh, Man City.
Yeah, well, you know, we used to be good.
Why?
Maguire.
Why? They make own goals every time. No, Maguire.
So we've got, even in South Africa, this guy doesn't like Maguire either.
Yeah, Maguire, you know, Maguire, he put a lot of goals against his club, Manchester.
Right, so now we've got the book. So was this your grandfather's
Yes,
book?
this is my grandfather's book.
Oh wow.
Thank you so much for sharing.
How old is this? This book?
From 1960, before 1960
We'll get that.
actually.
We'll get that on camera.
Can I take a picture?
Of course.
Am I okay to just zoom the camera in a little bit on that? So this book right here is, how is it pronounced? The
Dom Pass.
Dom
Pass, a reference book.
So that means stupid past.
In
Wow.
English, yes. It's a Dom Pass, Afrikaans Dom.
Dom.
Dom stupid.
Ah.
Yes.
Now,
Wow.
which house was he?
It's actually crazy to think that's not that many years ago, really. Like, I think she said the book's from, did she say the 60s? I'm sure my dad, when was my dad born? I'm sure he was born in the 60s. So yeah, it's actually not that long ago. And some of the other facts that she was telling me were insane. So hopefully we can go back on the trip. Hopefully we can go back to some sites, because this is the first part of the tour, and the second one I think I'm allowed to then walk around sort of the prison area. So hopefully we can get more information on this sort of place. But I must say the views from the island are pretty incredible. I'll spin this round here. You've got the whole bay, if we look down there, of Cape Town. I'll take you through the other side here, because that's got a better view of Table Mountain and Lion's Head, and luckily today we've got a super clear day. It's not a cloud in the sky, so yeah, we've been lucky with that one. Yeah, so here is the view of all views really. This is incredible. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. So that right there, the top of there, is where we hiked to, me and Matt hiked to the other day, so you can see how much of a graft that actually was. So yeah, there's a little selfie, and we'll continue the video and continue the tour.
Ladies and gents, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to Robben Island. Maximum security prison. The place has been a national museum, and that dates back to January of '97. And of course, this island will be listed and inscribed a cultural World Heritage Site per UNESCO protocols and statutes. But as a prison, it was used to imprison exclusively male political prisoners, blacks, colored Indian, from 1962 all the way to 1991. Now I'm one of those imprisoned here. I spent 7 years as a prisoner here from 1984 to 91. I came here with 4 co-accused, and all 5 of us, we came from the same political formation, African National Congress. That's an organization I joined in 1979 when I left this country to live in exile because of political persecution and police harassment. This self-imposed exile will be 3 countries, Tanzania, Angola, Zambia, in that order, but arrested in South Africa when we came through Swaziland on our way to a town called Secunda. After 10 weeks of that, we were then formally charged conspiracy to overthrow the Southern government, which translates to treason, and a trial in the Supreme Court of Johannesburg, sitting before a judge and 2 assessors, and it took 7 months and 3 weeks of trial to eventually conclude the whole thing, retaining a guilt verdict. On the 21st of September 1984, we had already dispensed with issues of mitigations, arguments, and aggravating factors. I was sentenced around 2 in the afternoon, already shackled, chained, and handcuffed, to 25 years. Then we were on the road, a convoy of 3, and high speed, of course. We stopped at a prison in Bloemfontein called Bloemfontein Prison, about 2 hours there. Then another prison, it's called Colby Prison, overnight. Early hours of the morning, on the road, another long road trip, but eventually we get to Cape Town, waterfront, and then onto this ferry called Susan Kruger, currently docked there at the waterfront, Jetty 1. This ferry will take us an hour and 20 minutes to find its way to Robben Island. You know, those are very slow ones. And then eventually, folks, we had to walk from the harbor, coming through these doors. This was the administration building, thumb fingerprint, present company from Bible, you know, all the works. Then from this spot, we're not taking too far, just around the stairs, there's a door into the clinic for a medical. Every prisoner had to go through that. Then they decide, for me, it would be a block called Block F, or Section F. And I was to be there until the 20th of September, 2009. But I'm sure you know by now, Nelson Mandela was talking to the Well, the first president, Peter B. Botha, Mandela and Botha never seemed to agree on anything. As things will go within the white ruling nationalist party, some dynamics will happen and Botha will be out and will be replaced by his cabinet minister. F.W. de Klerk was holding the portfolio of education. Now he becomes president of the country and he continues to talk to Mandela. These talks with Botha, they date back to 1986. And all this was, mostly in secret. Then 1989, September, an agreement is reached about the way forward. Now, part of getting to that way forward, of talking about tomorrow, first today, certain things needed to be done first. And two of those talked directly to those of us who were Burqa prisoners. We are to be released unconditionally, our records are to be expunged, and this came to pass. Then 1990, the following year, that is 11 February, Mandela walks out from Victor Verster to his freedom. From this prison, it will begin on the 10th of June 1990. First 100 are out. And subsequent to that is different groups at different times, starting with those who are doing lesser sentences, ending with those like me in these long sentences. So I knew immediately I'm not going to go anywhere anytime soon, so I was just watching people being released all the time. Cell 1, and I know it very well. I was one of 40 prisoners in here. There's a white and a green cupboards there. Right there in between, there was a double bunk. I slept at the bottom, I'm not one for heights. And before my time, these two mats you see on the floor and two blankets, each prisoner was allocated. And they accommodated 60 prisoners in here. Then the number was reduced when they introduced the bunks, because those bunks were 20, so that makes it 40 prisoners. Remember the glass window, 1975, otherwise open to the elements and lights 24 hours. Those are the toilets and showers. Unlike the Mandelas, here the section was built with toilets and showers from the very beginning. Only that building was not. The meals, 3. As you see there, there's food for blacks and there's food for Eastern colors. This was to perpetuate the racial stereotypes, to remind us we're the same. It was also exactly the same in prison uniform. Blacks will be on short pants and short sleeve shirts. Eastern colors will be on long pant trousers, long sleeve shirts. And remember, those who came before me, I'm talking in the 60s, they were walking barefooted, including Mandela. The evidence is at the harbor. When you see those big black and white photos, just watch those guys closely, you'll see none of them is wearing shoes. And I was allowed to receive one visit in 3 months for 30 minutes each time. Non-contact, partitioned by glass, speakerphone. And I was restricted to either Afrikaans or English, no other language was entertained.
So that is the end of my walking tour, and I met this amazing gentleman who's done the tour. So going round this prison, I've not spoke much about the vlog because I was listening to your amazing story, to be honest.
Right.
So he actually stayed in this prison for 7 years. I don't know if there's anything that you want to share, just a very quick story for everyone watching about your journey through here, to be honest.
Well, I'm a child of the soil, and the land has always been central to the freedoms of our people. And for me to get involved, I could see that growing up in Soweto, which I thought actually was the best thing after sliced bread, you know, because I've never been anywhere else outside of Soweto at the time. And then when I started to go into the city, my mom was a domestic worker, and then going to that suburb, and this new world was opening in front of my eyes. And you know, those basic things that we take for granted.
Yeah, no, it's
we
very
never
true.
had those in Soweto, you know. And for me, the nagging question was why? You know, why are things the way they are? And the more I got to understand the why, the more I was conscientized to the realities of racial discrimination by law, of preservation of white privilege by law. And so, now that I understand the why, the next question for me now was, well, what am I going to do about it, you know? And I knew that the path I'm taking of answering the why, of what I'm going to do about it, was going to lead into two things, death or prison.
Jeez.
Because then I chose to be an activist to fight issues of social justice, of freedom, human rights and justice.
That is a brave decision though, isn't it?
Absolutely.
To know that the one of two endings are not what you necessarily want. It's a very brave decision.
You understand? And now I become a student activist.
Yeah.
Because we're also faced, growing up in Soweto, by an inferior education, underfunded and resourced to that of our white counterparts.
Yeah.
And in the Soweto, growing up there, then there are these issues of social justice. So that's how for me it all starts.
Wow.
And until I get out of the country to live in exile, then gets arrested and come to Robben Island, which I'm back now.
I know, you're back again, telling all us your inspirational story. Just one last question I've got for you is, in those 7 years that you was here, what did you learn about yourself? Was there something that, like, because obviously you're in such harsh conditions.
Believe you me. Patience.
Patience.
Yeah. Because I was a very impatient person.
Yeah.
I wanted freedom today, you know? Not tomorrow. And the interactions I had here with people, you know, patience comes with understanding. It comes with being able to listen without talking. And in that way, you are able then to sometimes tolerate the other views. Be receptive, even though you don't agree with it, but you are able to take. And sometimes even learn from views that maybe before then I wouldn't have given them a time of day. So that's what I learned about prison, to be patient.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much again, honestly. It's been a pleasure to meet you. Your story's been incredible. And yeah, it's been an eye-opening experience today for myself. So it's great to meet someone who's sort of lived that. Because I've been to I've been to Auschwitz before. And obviously they tell you the stories, but to hear it from someone who's actually gone through that and lived that experience is a whole lot different. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, well, I hope the camera picked up on that, because the sun's behind me. I can't actually see the screen, so I don't know how that looked. So fingers crossed it looked good and you heard it, because today's been a pretty incredible day to hear stories from someone who's actually lived that experience is really eye-opening. Now, I've not managed to film an awful lot in there because it was like a talking tour, so he narrated everything and I felt a bit rude if I was going to try and talk around that. So one thing that I am going to highlight is Nelson Mandela actually stayed in this prison for 18 years. He was in prison for 27 in total, spent 18 here in a tiny room. I've got a little video that will be in a montage. You might have already seen it in the montage already, to be honest. And what blows me away is that, for one, during like the winters, summers, all weather conditions, there was only open bars during his time. And they had a little bucket which they would have to go to the toilet in clean it out the next day, and that same bucket is what they would wash themselves with. So, you know, the conditions in there weren't the best. But yeah, that's a little recap. I'm gonna go get myself out of here now, walk through these gates over here, get myself back onto the ferry, and then head back to the harbour, where I think tonight, I need to check the time as well, we've got an awards ceremony with Matt, so I'll take you there with me. But yeah, that was today was a great experience, and very glad that I paid to do this trip, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know how the video is going to look when it's all pieced together, because I've got little bits of footage here, little bits of footage there, but yeah, just bear with that, and hopefully the message of the story can be shared. So yeah, let's head back to the harbour now. Back to land. There was a little bit of a delay on the boat, so I've been rocking around for about an hour while this tanker had to come into port, and I'm starving, so I've not ate all day. And then when we get back off the boat, I want to go over to Nando's, which is on the other side of this bridge, which is now moved over there. Yeah, I've not ate all day, so I'm a bit hungry and tired now, but if there's one lesson that we've learned from today, it is patience, isn't it? Give it 5 or 10 minutes, the bridge will come back over. Could get myself some food, and then off back to Matt's apartment. So normally you only see me in my Under Armour get-up, but today I'm going for a manager's meal with Matt. So I thought we'll have to put on a nice fancy shirt. So yeah, we're going to head there now and see what the month-end awards ceremony is, which I guess will be quite a big deal. Matt, you going to move up, yeah? Which, yeah, going off the welcome I got last time, I'm imagining this is going to be just as lively. So yeah, let's head off there and see how entertaining that one can be. Who thinks Matt looks like Dale Winter?
You're not even going to know who Dale Winter is.
Oh, you don't under these lights?
Do I look paler now?
Pale as fuck. You don't through my eyes, but through the camera. Let's get closer.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
How does it look on a camera?
Tour of a new hair.
this is Anika's new hair. Talk us through your hair, Anika.
It's just a bit of a change.
Yeah.
Some summer sunshine
Summer sunshine.
with a bit of streaks.
Right, so I've made it back into the Bourne offices. I'm sat here with Anthony and Matt. So Anthony is going to do the hosting of the end of month awards. You want to give us a little breakdown of what it's about, what you're going to do, any words of motivation, or
And why we do it, actually.
yeah, and why it all happens.
Why do we do it?
Exactly why.
Oh, right.
No, we do it to obviously reward people that have obviously smashed it for the month. You know, our culture is really big on positivity, hard work, and being pretty dedicated. So it sort of gives an opportunity for me to do a little bit of stand-up comedy, which I do in my part-time, and also recognise the people that have actually smashed it for the month. So it's really good to give people recognition for the good work that they've done, and also my stand-up comedy makes it.
Perfect. Well, I am excited to see how this unfolds. How long is it on for? About
5 minutes.
You know, some people say 5 minutes. It lasts about an hour and a half.
an hour and a half. Perfect.
But YOLO, innit?
Yeah, so I'm going to film bits, little chunks of it as it goes. And now he's mentioned that he's so good at stand-up comedy, you can all rate it, think how good he is. I'll leave his details. You can book him for any events, birthdays, whatever you want. Modelling.
Do you know what I mean? 5 minutes on the treadmill, I'm back.
Right guys, customer service award. It's not that one. Is this one? Yeah, so obviously customer service, you know, it's
No, it's fine.
sorry, I need to stand on the X. Does anyone who doesn't know X Factor? Does everyone know what the X Factor is? Okay, perfect. Would you let me through to the next round? No. What about if I tell you that, you know, obviously I had a tough childhood. And my dog, guys, seriously, before I start singing, I just need to let you know that my dog swallowed a cone of the cob last week. And had 1, 2, 3, get out! First nomination for top for customer service is Amber, guys.
How old am I? I think I'm 32 now. I think when I came over, I definitely feel 32 now. Let me tell you. When I first came over, it's actually mad because I think I first came over and I was 25 or 26, I believe. Just to give you guys a little bit of perspective, is that I got into business, I think, about 12 months or 18 months before that point, yeah? So before that point, I was on the phones, I was working, I was learning my craft, getting better at sales, and then all of a sudden I thought, I'm just going to take the leap, and I started a business, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. So this is why, the way that Anthony goes on about it, we want to build something here, and it's not just building a business for profit. This is building lives, yeah? This is creating lives, and I'm pretty sure most of you, the way that you feel about this business, and some of the people that leave as well, you know, they have a lot to say about what we give you in terms of mindset, what we give you in terms of your lives, not just in the business, not just professionally, but outside of the company. And just as a little birthday message, it's my mission to make this business huge, successful, but not like all the other call centres, yeah? Like somewhere that people come to work and don't realise they're working. That's the absolute key. As long as we can achieve that, we can achieve everything. Yeah? Thank you.
You won't be here in the new year.
Anthony, we're live now. Anthony, I'm giving you compliments here. That was a very motivational speech, and we need a few words. We need a few words to wrap it up.
Got an autograph, guys. Need an autograph.
Right, 30 seconds. Go.
I don't know what to say.
Just a little wrap up.
It was a great meeting. It was a great month, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Right, I think Anthony is his social battery is just worn out now. So that little post, we'll sneak in the office. That post presentation he didn't do as well as he was doing live, which I don't know if I can like showcase what he was actually saying at the time because it was so loud. The crowd were going wild. And I don't think the mic will have picked up what he was saying, to be honest. So hopefully that little montage that I'm going to pop there is enough to showcase sort of the energy that is built here in Bourne. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave the video there now. We're all going to head out for a manager's meal somewhere nice. So that'll give me an opportunity to get to know everyone here a little bit more. And then, as I said in I think one of my first videos, I do want to come back and highlight some of the stories of the people here because they've had a completely different upbringing, come from a completely different background to what I'm used to in the UK and what a lot of people will think. So their story from where they've been to where they are is great to share. So hopefully before I do leave Cape Town, which I'm planning on leaving in a couple of weeks, I can highlight a few of those stories and obviously dot that in between the touristy stuff as well. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little section, and yeah, I'll pick up the camera again very, very soon.